It is now time for the UConn starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One. Here's Jamie Coffey.
And now it's time to meet the starters for the UConn Huskies. At forward, a 6'3" sophomore from Ontario, Canada, number 3, Aaliyah Edwards. At forward, a 6'5" senior out of Winder, Georgia, number 20, Olivia Nelson. At guard, a 5'11" sophomore from Hopkins, Minnesota, number 5, Paige Beckers. At guard, a 5'11" senior out of Little Rock, Arkansas, number 13, Kristen Williams. And at guard, a 5'11" freshman from Arlington, Virginia, number 35, AZ Bud. Ladies and gentlemen, the UConn Huskies.
Meanwhile, the South Carolina Gamecocks, they've had a familiar theme all season.
We came here to Minnesota to finish the job.
Here's Boston, too easy. Rejection from Bree Beal. South Carolina firmly in control.
Over the past couple years, the journey has had a lot of ups and downs. Thinking back to last year, buzzer shot at the Final Four. Didn't end the way we wanted to, but we took that and we learned from it. We fought the last 2 years to get where we are today. We know we deserve it. We know we are a great team. We really all want it back.
The South Carolina Gamecocks, they are headed to the national championship game.
We closed the book of unfinished business by us hoisting that national championship trophy.
Time to be the South Carolina starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One. Here again is Jamie Coffey.
And now it's time to meet the starters for the South Carolina Gamecocks. At forward, a 6'5" junior from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, number 4, Aaliyah Boston. At forward, a 6'2" senior out of Rome, Georgia, number 5, Victoria Saxton. At guard, a 5'9" junior from Toledo, Ohio, number 1, Zaya Cook. At guard, a 5'7" senior out of Fort Myers, Florida, number 3, Destiny Henderson. And at guard, a 6'1" junior from Rock Island, Illinois, number 12, Bree Beal. The South Carolina Gamecocks. And introducing the head coaches for the UConn Huskies, Gino Auriemma. And for the South Carolina Gamecocks, Dawn Staley.
It is almost time. The national championship gets underway in just 30 seconds here in Minneapolis. When we said 30 seconds, we meant 30 seconds. Here we go. South Carolina, UConn. A national championship on the line tonight in Minneapolis. Outstanding turnouts from both fan bases. This sellout crowd at Target Center. Connecticut seeking a 12th national title. South Carolina trying to become just the 8th school to win multiple national championships. This one would join their title back in 2017. Aaliyah Boston and this junior class for South Carolina feels like they've been robbed the last couple of seasons. Didn't have a tournament when they were the #1 team in the nation 2 years ago. Last year came a putback away from heading to the national championship game. And this UConn team has shown incredible resilience all season long. Nelson Adota and Saxton jump it up. And the national title game is underway.
Connecticut starting out in man-to-man defense, you would think South Carolina would look to establish Aaliyah Boston inside early.
Here's Henderson instead, couldn't swivel it in. Saxton corrals it. Henderson gets loose in the corner, out of three. Destiny Henderson has a knack for these big moments.
And South Carolina is the #1 offensive rebounding team in the country. It's how they start the game.
They had a big edge in that department in the first meeting between these teams. South Carolina was a +15 in second chance points in that contest. Williams looking to answer, cannot. Loose ball, and it's grabbed by Cook. Off and running for the Gamecocks. Cook all the way in, able to lay it home. And when South Carolina's guards get going, that's always a good sign.
What a great start for South Carolina on the perimeter. Getting some confidence early, a three, and then the breakout two.
South Carolina's guards, much maligned early in the tournament, showed up in a huge way in the semifinal as Edwards goes in for Connecticut's first bucket. Here's Beal. Connecticut will play Offer on the perimeter. Henderson, little bunny, no. Another offensive rebound, but it's knocked out of bounds off of Saxton. Connecticut basketball.
A great time to get an open look on the offensive, is on the offensive glass, heading out to three, up to the top, wide open. Destiny Henderson loves the corners, drains it from there.
Henderson, a senior, ticketed for the WNBA. Draft will be Monday night on ESPN, April 11th. Edwards, nice denial from Saxton, fronting her. Cook collects it. Here's Beal. Beal, aggressive attack, flips it up wildly, but Boston is there. Boston denied, another chance, she'll flip it out. Plenty of time to operate for South Carolina. Henderson trying to work Beckers. Henderson couldn't twist into anything. Boston, though, still there for the follow. And that is the relentlessness of South Carolina on the offensive glass.
Aaliyah Boston in particular will pursue and pursue and pursue. She does not give up on the old boards.
You see AZ Fudd in the starting lineup. She missed shoot-around today with an illness. Is back in the hotel resting for Connecticut. Edwards will take. Back iron, no, and a good box out from Boston. Beal bodies in, can't finish. Saxton fighting, another offensive rebound, and Beal finishes. That's 5 offensive rebounds already for South Carolina.
That's why they have 6 more field goal attempts in this game. Connecticut getting manhandled inside.
Here's Williams. Little mid-range, no. Rebound Cook, Carolina pushing it. Here's Zaya Cook, lost it off of her leg, no. Last hit Connecticut, it'll stay with the Gamecocks.
Relentless, that's what South Carolina is. They get the offensive rebound on 46% of their misses. That's how they're starting here.
Connecticut needs an early timeout. Cook buries the jumper. Gino Auriemma a bit bewildered. And South Carolina couldn't have scripted the start any better. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Champion, giving women the confidence to play by their own rules. Incredible start in the national championship game for South Carolina, an 11-2 lead, 3.5 minutes into this one. 6 missed shots, 5 of them South Carolina's gotten the offensive rebound. They have 7 second chance points as we check in with Holly Rowe.
To that point, UConn coach Gino Auriemma took his whiteboard that's made in the form of a basketball court, and he circled over and over and over around the paint and the basket with his finger, and he told his team this is where the game will be run. If you guards are out at the three-point line when the ball goes up, we are not going to win this game. He wants them crashing to the glass when the ball goes up in the air. everybody has to crash. They're getting killed on the board.
It's certainly going to be a team effort, Holly, because South Carolina is too big and strong in their pursuit of the offensive glass to just handle it with your own bigs.
Foul here called against Cook. And that'll be our first whistle of the game.
Up until that point, I feel like the officials have really let them play, and I think that's the way both coaches and both teams want it.
Deckers has had a hard time getting the basketball back. Destiny Henderson has been denying big time. Now Beckers with Boston switched on her. Henderson gets back to Beckers. Beckers gives it up. Nelson Adota, good ball fake. Boston waiting. How about this South Carolina defense? Absolutely incredible defensive possession from the Gamecocks.
They have great length, not only on the interior, but on the perimeter as well. And Henderson's quickness has given Beckers difficulty so far.
We asked Dawn Staley keys for this game. She said we have to take care of the basketball and we need to contain Page. South Carolina has done both in the early going. Boston doesn't get the flip. Guess what? Another offensive rebound. Saxton. Beckers tips it. Henderson will let it go out, and it will stay with South Carolina.
Rebecca, you mentioned Destiny Henderson's quickness, just that effort on the denial. No matter where Paige Beckers is going, she is low, she keeps her hips low and stays in front. It is very difficult to do. Great effort by Henderson.
Here's Cook looking for another and finding it. Zaya Cook 3 for 3 to begin this game, shooting just 28% from the floor in the NCAA tournament. Can UConn settle in? And that's a travel. Nelson Adota walks. We're going to step aside. South Carolina, a 13-2 lead, a little more than halfway into this first quarter. It's been all Gamecocks. South Carolina, a 13-2 first quarter lead over UConn in the national championship game. Let's take a look at our thrilling drives from tonight's game, brought to you by Nissan.
South Carolina all season long has made their living on the offensive glass. They do such a good job of getting there. 6 offensive rebounds already. Pass it out, you get a wide open look for 3, and when you're in the paint and you miss your shot, you know you have a great chance of one of your bigs going to get it and getting a couple of easy points in the paint. So impressive so far. The physicality, the pursuit of the basketball, great job by the Gamecocks.
That was an issue for Connecticut in the first meeting between these teams. A South Carolina win back in November. All right, Rebecca, I mean, obviously this is one of the calling cards of the Gamecocks, but what kind of adjustments, if any, can Connecticut make to try and at least make it not such a great disparity on the board?
But you see, they're extending their defense a little bit. It's been difficult for them, too, because they haven't made shots. So South Carolina's been able to get out a little transition.
Cook, a little too strong. Another offensive rebound for South Carolina. Here's Boston going one-on-one with Nelson Adota. Help comes. Looked like Boston traveled. Was not called. UConn bench wanted it. Shot clock inside of 5. Henderson swivels, meets bodies, and it's Connecticut basketball. Avina Westbrook into the game for AZ Fudd for Connecticut. A little more size for the Huskies. Here's Williams. Needs help. Beckers evades after the overplay. Here's Nelson Adota, one-on-one with Boston. Nelson Adota gets it to go. That's a strong move from the senior.
Early in that possession, Nelson Adota had Henderson switched on her, begging for the basketball, didn't get it, and then it was a much tougher finish when she had Aaliyah Boston on her, but she got it to fall.
Nelson Adota, first team All Big East this season, spoke to us today about the growth that she's experienced as a person, as a part of this Connecticut program. Saxton gets it to wedge home. Victoria Saxton. 15-4 South Carolina. Here's Beckers finding some space finally, but can't hit. Knocked out of bounds by Edwards. South Carolina basketball. Hey fans, don't forget to check out the Bird and Taurasi show presented by AT&T 5G over on ESPN2, featuring WNBA legends Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, as well as special guests. The Bird and Taurasi show presented by AT&T 5G, currently on ESPN2. We have Second Spectrum on ESPNU. On the Rail, ESPN Plus. A lot of things going on with the Mega
I have a lot of devices to watch this game.
Nika Mule into the game for Connecticut. Letitia Ami here in for South Carolina. She left warm-ups momentarily earlier after taking a pass off the throat. Was huddled over on the bench for a while. Eventually was good to go though. Here's Cook across her body and off the window. Zaya Cook with 8 points in the first.
She had that little extra time and lane to get the shot off because of Victoria Saxton's use of her body in the post. Saxton does not get nearly enough credit for her part she plays in South Carolina's success.
Dawn Staley says Saxton is low maintenance, high performance. Connecticut nearly turns it over. Edwards finds Mule cutting for two. Nika Mule, the sophomore from Croatia. Gino Auriemma has said that Nika, 2 seasons in a row, has changed our seasons once entering the starting lineup. Coming off the bench in this game. It started for a while Connecticut was out without Paige Beckers, who missed 19 games. Cook will fire. Can't hit. Rebound. Guess who? Saxton had it. Beckers able to wrest it away.
Without Aaliyah Boston on the floor, a little easier for Connecticut to get to the glass.
Avina Westbrook storms in for two. Connecticut finally putting together back-to-back buckets. Here's Amihir, the floater, banks in. Letitia Amihir with the touch.
South Carolina takes outsize and they put insize. They have so much depth at that position.
Connecticut down one of their key bigs, Dorka Juhas, as that pass from Mule too long for Beckers. 4th turnover for Gino Auriemma's squad. Aaliyah Boston back into the game for South Carolina. Juhas fractured her wrist in that epic Elite 8 double overtime win against NC State. She is here with her teammates.
South Carolina getting this big early lead has allowed Dawn Staley to sub Aaliyah Boston a little earlier than she normally does in the first quarter.
Lily Brissett into the game for South Carolina as well, with Boston, Amihir, Beal, and Henderson. Here's Boston. One-on-one with Nelson Adota. Here comes the double. Boston unable to finish, but draws the foul. And Aaliyah Boston will shoot a pair.
And the ball went into Boston at first. You saw Paige Beckers help off of the defender, went back out, then back in, and Paige Beckers did not help the second time. Aaliyah Boston is going to score over almost any defender in women's college basketball if it's one-on-one.
You see the numbers in the tournament for Aaliyah Boston. We were asking Dawn Staley, is there any player she's ever seen who just totally dominates the offensive glass the way Boston does? She came up with a pretty great name, Yolanda Griffith.
Yeah, one of the best to ever do it in the WNBA. Just long arms, relentless. Different body types though. Yo is really stringy and lean, and Boston is just so darn powerful.
A little full court pressure from South Carolina. Connecticut's already turned it over 4 times. Edwards finds Beckers, extra feed. How about Westbrook? Too strong, and a foul here is going to go against Nelson Adota, and that's going to be her second. Wow, tough call against Nelson Adota for foul number 2.
At the beginning of that, Nelson Adota thought she was going to get the call because Amihir had her arm in, but the second one was called when Nelson Adota went over the back.
Caroline Ducharme into the game for Nelson Adota. Now this is where Juhas, and not having her, plays a role as well. She would normally be that third post in rotation. So Westbrook, Edwards, Beckers, Mule, and Ducharme on the floor for Connecticut. 12-second difference, game and shot clock. Cook gets it over to Boston. Boston rumbles in and finishes. What a gorgeous finish from Aaliyah Boston. Ducharme gets it over to Edwards. Edwards, no angle, steps out of bounds. Connecticut turns it over.
As impressive as South Carolina's offense has been and their work on the offensive glass, how about on the defensive end of the floor, Ryan?
Fewest points in a first quarter this season for Connecticut. South Carolina could not have scripted a better start to this game. What's Gino Auriemma have to say about it? Holly Rowe will chat with the 11-time champion next.
Coach Gino Auriemma, offensive rebounding and second chance points have been an issue. What are you going to do to your squad to get them to do that a little bit better?
It is what it is. Like we're either going to rebound better, like we did the other night, or it's going to get worse than this. And there's no way around it. We said going into this game, the reason we won the other night is because we rebounded the ball. And tonight, we're not even close to getting rebounds. And again, they're just overwhelming us right now. So we got to regroup and get back to playing a little bit of Connecticut basketball.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, let's take a look at our first quarter stats brought to you by Geico. This is what Gino Auriemma is talking about. I mean, South Carolina had 11 more field goal attempts thanks to that +9 on the glass.
And what do we see now? South Carolina's coming in with 6-7. Cardozo, in addition to Aaliyah Boston, I mean, they can just bring size and more size at you.
Cardoso is the #1 transfer in the country, last year's ACC Co-Defensive Player of the Year, and last year's ACC Freshman of the Year at Syracuse. Henderson, Aaliyah Boston, Cardoso, as well as Bree Hall, and Lily Grissett, the 5 for South Carolina. Westbrook trying to find Ducharme. She catches up with it, one-on-one with Boston. Now Edwards putting it on the deck, lost it. Connecticut is completely out of sorts. 6 turnovers now for the Huskies.
And part of that is their inability to get it back to Paige Beckers after she has passed the ball to initiate the offense.
Cardoso facing up. Here's the freshman Hall cutting through, flipping up and off. And a whistle is called on the rebound against Connecticut when it looked like they finally were going to get a rebound. Here's a look from the target above the rim cam. Yep, it's a foul. Westbrook got on the face of Cardoso. A loose ball here. Henderson spun away from contact. Zips inside. Can't finish it. Another offensive rebound for South Carolina.
Gino Auriemma using a variety of combinations, trying to figure out if something can work.
Henderson on a 3. Asia Wilson, who led South Carolina to their first title in 2017, has been on her feet since tip. 12-0 in second chance points. Beckers has been guarded beautifully by Henderson. Beckers, they need it, and she gives them to him.
One thing Don Staley said they wanted to do was force Paige Beckers left. They did that, she scored.
(25-10). South Carolina in front. Westbrook trying to front Boston. Hall will fire a 3. No. Offensive rebound. Cardoso and another putback.
Leah Edwards was there, and she tried to keep Cardoso on her back and just couldn't because of the size.
Nika Mule on the attack. Sets up Edwards, mid-range, got it. Rebecca, it almost looks at times as if some of the bigs of Connecticut are so worried about boxing out, they're forgetting to try and get the basketball.
And also, when they're trying to get around to three-quarter to prevent the ball from going into the post, that already puts you at a disadvantage in terms of boxing out and your positioning.
Henderson, you bet! Destiny Henderson is slinging arrows. 3 for 3 from downtown. Here's Beckers racing inside, across her body, got it to go. Bree Hall, no one guards her. Lays it up short, guess what? More offensive boarding. Grissett, no. And finally, Connecticut comes up with it. 11 offensive rebounds for South Carolina. Beckers, the Minnesota kid, wheeling through traffic, will fire. Oh my goodness! What a highlight from Paige Beckers.
The difference offensively at Connecticut the last 2 possessions, she hasn't given it up. Because when she gives it up, she has such a hard time getting it back.
30-16, South Carolina in front. Beckers with 6 now. Attended high school just 10 miles away in Hopkins, Minnesota. Tie up here, Beckers on it. Possession arrow belongs with South Carolina.
Paige Beckers with the ball in her hands can be a magician, and here just working. She's like, I'm not giving it up anymore. I'm just gonna go where I need to go to get my shot off.
Looked like you navigating your way to the snack table at halftime. Gonna find my way there no matter what. Beckers, the AP Player of the Year last season. Aaliyah Boston this season. First time ever in the NCAA tournament in women's college basketball history that 2 players of the year have faced each other. Happened once on the men's side when Tyler Hansborough and Blake Griffin went up against each other. And that's going to be number 2 on Avina Westbrook.
Well, look at her. She's guarding Aaliyah Boston.
Beal, that's a travel. And South Carolina turns it over.
With the lineup South Carolina has on the floor and the lineup Connecticut has on the floor, Avina Westbrook at the 4 position has to guard Aaliyah Boston.
Are there things to be taken advantage of on this end, though, for Connecticut as a result? With Westbrook at the 4.
Yeah, you can. Caroline Ducharme is the advantage at this end because Aaliyah Boston is guarding her, and she's a player who can face up and take you off the bounce.
7 turnovers now for Connecticut. Bree Beal got in there to knock it away. Her defensive performance against Haley Van Lith in the semifinals was absolutely suffocating. Here's Cardoso, giving space, looking for help. Henderson, the pull-up. No, offensive rebound, Cardoso. She puts it home.
Avina Westbrook did her job boxing out, but Olivia Nelson-Ododa did not, and Cardoso made her pay.
Nelson-Ododa gets free, waits for the body, and finishes. Remember, Nelson-Ododa and Westbrook both playing with 2 fouls. Aaliyah Boston has just 3 personal fouls this entire tournament.
Look at her, and Westbrook just battling inside. Now Nelson-Ododa has her.
Here's Boston. Bodies in, that's going to be a charge as Nelson-Ododa takes the contact.
Coming inside, Nelson-Ododa just taking the charge. Connecticut worked on that a little bit in their shoot-around today. You see Avina Westbrook going out of the game. She is flat out exhausted from the way she has been battling inside against players who are so much bigger than her.
Aaliyah Edwards back in, so Connecticut back with their starting front court. Edwards and Nelson-Ododa. We have not seen much of AZ Fudd. Beckers trying to find space, got the whistle. And Paige Beckers is going to shoot 2. Well, Paige Beckers, lucky to be on the floor in this game, Holly.
Right, you saw that replay of her spinning, driving, cutting, and it's hard to believe that in December she had a significant knee surgery. She had a meniscus stitched up, and then she had her tibial plateau fracture plated and put screws in. This is a significant injury, and she has come back in fine fashion. She said it was her choice. She prayed about it, talked about it with her family, and she wanted to return. And so here she is working her magic on the court. What a tremendous transformation from Paige Becker's surgery in December.
Nelson Adota, great effort for the offensive rebound off the Becker's missed free throw. And another chance here for Connecticut. Here's Paige. One-on-one with Boston. Gets it back to Edwards. Edwards hooks it up and off. Loose ball. Edwards after it. Another chance for Connecticut. Beckers trying to take advantage of Cardoso. Can't hit the step back. Good opportunities there for the Huskies, and Ducharme called for the foul. South Carolina, a 13-point second quarter lead in the national championship game. Absolutely dominating on the glass, and thus far on the scoreboard as well. The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. South Carolina, a 32-19 second quarter lead. Let's check in with Drea.
Well, Ryan, as I'm watching this game, I'm noticing, if you see, Olivia Nelson-Adota is doubling on Aaliyah Boston, and it gives Camila Cardoso the opportunity to get the offensive rebound. Just the presence of Boston being on the floor gives her teammates chances because she draws so much attention from the defense.
Drea, you have to front her, or at least three-quarter front her, to prevent her from getting an easy touch and a deep touch and then score. But as soon as you do that and a shot goes up from somebody else, you're already at a detriment in terms of boxing her out in your positioning.
And Rebecca, you know, when you're turned, and South Carolina does such a good job at staying in your body, so then they turn and seal you to get the offensive rebound.
Incredible stuff as Cook leaves it short. Guess what? Cardoso, another offensive rebound. Connecticut wanted a walk afterwards. Boston on the bench at the moment. The freshman Sanaya Rivers into the game, number 3 recruit in the nation this season. Nice job by Edwards, swallowing up Beal. Now if you're Connecticut, hey, can you get it to single digits before the half?
I think that has to be your goal.
Becker's been a little more aggressive over the last few possessions. Here's Ducharme on the attack, lays it in. Connecticut, a 13-7 sprint after falling behind 25-8.
This early lead, though, for South Carolina has allowed Dawn Staley to really use her bench and give players like Boston more time to rest than she normally would.
Ducharme comes up with a steal. Here's Beckers. Pull up 3, short, and out of bounds to South Carolina. Coming up in the Degree Halftime Report with Elle Duncan, Carolyn Peck, and Nikki Fargas. Dawn's dominance dissected. How about that alliteration?
That's very nice.
Ooh. I love the monochromatic way our incredible trio went at halftime, too.
You're talking about their outfits.
Yeah, that's right. With these incredible colors. Out of bounds off of South Carolina.
This is South Carolina's small lineup with 6'5" and 6'3" in the post.
And how about Connecticut's going to go to Amari DeBerry here, who's played just 3 total minutes in the NCAA tournament.
She's in, so Olivia Nelson-Adota doesn't pick up a third, and she's a big body who can mix it up and have 5 fouls to give.
Number 15 recruit in the nation this season. Here's Beckers trying to work Beal. DeBerry not shy, fires it up too strong. Gino Auriemma told us earlier in the year that DeBerry is one of the most skilled bigs he has ever had.
Did some really nice moments where she got some run in their game against Georgia Tech.
Here's a me here. Boston still on the bench for South Carolina. Cook can't hit. Opportunity here for Connecticut with Boston waiting to check in. Ducharme gets space. Can't hit the 3, and Cook the rebound. Couple missed chances there for the Huskies.
The chance is worth taking as you're trying to cut into this lead with Boston out of the game.
Under 2:30 to go in the first half. Cook stops on a dime and throws it away as South Carolina's gotten a little sloppy last few possessions. Aaliyah Boston's going to check back in, and a me here out for the Gamecocks.
Put a security blanket to have Aaliyah Boston. I don't, you're Dawn Staley, you don't like the way things look, put Aaliyah Boston back in the game. They will look better.
Connecticut 0 for 4 from 3 thus far. We saw South Carolina keep Louisville off the three-point line as Westbrook can't get it to go. Nice effort by Edwards on the glass, and it's out of bounds off of Saxton. Destiny Henderson will check in for Cook.
It is so important for Connecticut to have any success in this game, to be able to make those three-point shots, simply because they're going to have a lot fewer attempts than South Carolina.
Oh, Ducharme, nice touch on the delivery from Edwards, and it's a single-digit deficit now. A 7-0 Connecticut run. Saxton facing up, kicking out. Rivers, the freshman, remains in for South Carolina. Beal putting it on the deck, meets a body, knocked out of bounds. Last hit Westbrook, 6 to shoot here for South Carolina.
Caroline Ducharme is really good when she moves and cuts, and a beautiful pass from Olivia from Aaliyah Edwards to get it into her.
Ducharme had a stretch in the middle of the season where she was Connecticut's leading scorer over a 10-game stretch. Rivers is now 1 for 31 from 3 on the season.
Yeah, not the right shot there for her.
Westbrook races in and finishes. It's a 9-0 Connecticut run. Dawn Staley wants a timeout. The officials don't see it, and that's okay. Henderson lays it in. Similar thing happened with Connecticut at the end of their game against Stanford. Becker's off one leg, straight cash. Henderson looking to exchange buckets, can't finish. Controlled by Connecticut, and they throw it out of bounds. Beckers and Westbrook, with no pressure, turn it over.
Both teams have been able to get good things out in transition. Evina Westbrook trying to get in past Aaliyah Boston. That's hard to do. She can often block that from behind, and Paige Becker says, all right, you want to force me left? I can go that way too.
Beckers with 9 in the second quarter. It's a 7-point game. Here's Saxton putting it on the floor. Lost the handle. Gets it to Henderson. 23-second difference, game and shot clock. Steady arms of Boston. Boston can't finish it. Boston after it. Boston able to get it back. A tie-up, and the possession arrow belongs with South Carolina. Another offensive rebound. By the way, Westbrook tweaked her ankle on that turnover. So trying to walk it off for Connecticut. 15 offensive rebounds for South Carolina now to Connecticut's 2. And the Gamecocks overall a plus 18 on the glass in this first half. Rivers, no, but a whistle. Foul goes against Ducharme. That will be her second.
Sny Rivers is really good and smooth off the dribble. Caroline Ducharme trying to get there. Contact with a body, sending Rivers to the free throw line.
Rivers, the number 3 recruit in the nation, hits the first free throw. Largest deficit Connecticut faced was 30-12. They've done good work here in the second quarter to come back in this game. Rivers misses the second. That rebound secured by Ducharme, and Connecticut can hold for a final shot here at the end of the quarter. Big time first half from the backcourt of South Carolina. 11 points from Destiny Henderson, 8 from Zia Cook. Here's Mule getting it to Beckers. 4 seconds left in the half. And that's going to be an offensive foul on DeBerry as Destiny Henderson took the contact.
You have to be stationary when you're big up top. You're trying to get your guard open, but you cannot do that. Great job by Destiny Henderson trying to fight over.
3.3 remaining in the half. Ami here gets it off, and that'll do it for the first half. South Carolina built a lead as large as 18, but missed 12 of its final 13 shots. Connecticut cuts it to 8 at the half. Destiny Henderson, though, 3 for 3 from downtown in this first half.
Destiny Henderson came out like a senior on a mission, looking for her shot. draining her shot, playing with an incredible amount of confidence. In a moment her team needed it most, she was absolutely terrific.
We were talking with Dawn Staley about Destiny Henderson earlier today. Said, oh, you don't have to worry about her in these kind of games. Nothing rattles her, and the only reason she ever turns it over is because of fatigue. Big time first half from Destiny, who is with Holly.
We had to wait for the blood to get cleaned off your leg. Pretty good gash on your knee. How are you feeling right now?
I feel pretty good, pretty confident in my team. We came out strong for the first half. We just got to take it in and just do the same thing for the second half.
You hit 3 threes in that first half. How does that open the floor for Aaliyah Boston when you guys are deadly like that?
I feel like it opened the floor for big time because, you know, they have to play out on the guards, especially me because I'm a shooter. But it just opens up the lane for them to attack the basket more.
Thank you, Destiny.
Thank you so much.
Henderson with 11, South Carolina, an 8-point lead, seeking its second national championship, the #1 team in the nation all season long. Elle Duncan, Carolyn Peck, Nikki Fargas coming at you with the halftime.
Ryan Rucco.
Welcome
An
to the Degree
8-point
halftime.
A women's championship presented by Capital One. South Carolina, a 35-27 lead over UConn as we get ready to start the third quarter. Welcoming you courtside again. Hey again, everybody. Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. South Carolina, well, they did what they do on the glass. Just totally dominated in that first half.
Yeah, what a display of offensive rebounding we saw by the South Carolina Gamecocks. 17 second chance points. You know, as soon as a shot goes up, they're going to have multiple players going and attacking. Aaliyah Boston was one of them. They are in constant pursuit. Camila Cardoso, the shot goes up. She's at the three-point line. Goes inside, able to get the basketball. That was the #1 difference in the first half.
And how about the way they contained Paige, Drea?
Carolina, they tried to make life difficult on Paige Becker, staying in a stance. The versatility of their post players is extremely helpful. The ability to defend on the perimeter. Look, Aaliyah Boston, just keep an arm's length away, make her give the ball up. Now you get the switch you wanted with Destiny Henderson back on Paige Beckers, making her give up the basketball. That's South Carolina's goal.
Let's check out our game track brought to you by Adidas. You see UConn with the 9 turnovers. Dawn Staley told us protecting the basketball was going to be #1 key for South Carolina. Just 4 first half turnovers from the Gamecocks and just dominance on the offensive glass and second chance points as we check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, AZ Fudd is a developing story for UConn. She only played 5 minutes in the first half, and this is the best shooter on their team. There is a bug going through the UConn team. She was very sick last night, missed shoot-around today. Gino Auriemma said, we're going to start her the second half and see how she goes. Particularly important because Adina Westbrook noticeably limping coming out from the locker room with the right ankle twist.
Sort of par for the course for the season. UConn has dealt with 8 players miss multiple games throughout the season. Paige Beckers missed 19. Fudd missed 11 with a foot injury. They've been the team of resilience. South Carolina, the team of unfinished business, as that's out of bounds off of Beal, and another chance here for Connecticut. AZ Fudd, the #1 recruit in the nation this season, a 3-time Gatorade Player of the Year in D.C. Did not score in that first half. She's been terrific in the tournament. Gets a look here, can't hit. Out of bounds off of Nelson Adota, and South Carolina basketball. Destiny Henderson had 11 points in that first half. The senior who certainly will be a part of the WNBA draft on April 11th.
I would look for South Carolina early in the second half. Establish Aaliyah Boston. Yes, get her a touch early.
One-on-one with Nelson Adota. Boston, that's too easy. If you don't bring help, she will gobble you up.
That's too easy because she makes it look too easy. There's not a lot of players who can just get the ball, back you down, and score.
An A. Smith Player of the Year, Aaliyah Boston. 7 points, 5 rebounds now for Boston, and it'll stay here with Connecticut.
Aaliyah Boston gets the basketball. Connecticut does not send help, and that's just when, as a post player, Nelson Adota's like, danger, danger, because there's not many people who can do that alone.
Beckers, guarded tightly by Henderson. Edwards, 2 to shoot, gonna have to put it up, lost the handle, Connecticut turns it over. 10th turnover of the game for Gino Auriemma's team. Auriemma 11-0 in national championship games. South Carolina 1-0. Dawn Staley said, hey, we have the same winning percentage. South Carolina trying to become just the 8th school to win multiple national championships. Out of bounds off of Henderson. Hey, as we were talking about, don't forget, the 26th annual WNBA draft is upon us. Washington Mystics have the first pick. Will it be Ryan Howard, Nalissa Smith? Find out on the WNBA draft presented by State Farm, April 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. And there is a wet spot on the floor that they are going to take care of.
Where's the big broom that we had in Bridgeport?
You know what? This looks like they may actually have to come back with some ointment because I think it's blood that's on the floor there. So yeah, they're going to have to. People have gotten really good though about using those different cleaning supplies over the last 2 years. So they're going to make sure it's nice. Yeah, there you go.
Sanitary?
It's sanitary now. You know, Rebecca, Connecticut trailed by 18 in the second quarter. And so I'm sure our audience is wondering, well, what are the largest come-from-behind victories in the history of the national championship game? If Connecticut were to come back and win tonight, this would be the largest. Notre Dame came back to beat Mississippi State. That dramatic Arike Ogunbowale run, trailing by 15. Louisiana Tech did it to Auburn in 1988. Tonight, UConn trailed by 18. They had cut it to 7, had the basketball. Westbrook and Beckers turned it over then. South Carolina has increased it back to 10, but Huskies ball.
Number one key for Connecticut are going to be to take care of the basketball on the offensive end and then get to the defensive glass. No secrets there.
Here's Fudd. Guarded tightly by Cook. Williams has not scored yet. Giving it up. 6 to shoot. Beckers trying to create with 2 to shoot. Beckers gets it off. Short. Loose ball. Cook after it. Here comes South Carolina. Zaya Cook gets denied by Beckers. Henderson able to save it, and another chance here for the Gamecocks. Here's Beal, guarded by Fudd. Loose ball, collected by Cook. Forces it up and gets the whistle against Williams as Zaya Cook will shoot 2.
What pursuit by Paige Beckers. It looked like in the 2-on-1, South Carolina was certainly going to score an easy bucket, and Paige Beckers didn't allow it.
Holly?
Well, Zaya Cook had an interesting semifinal. She didn't play as much as she normally does. Coach Dawn Staley went with a younger player, Sanaya Rivers, and we asked Coach today at shoot-around, hey, did you have to address that with Zaya? You know, soothe her feelings, make her feel better? And she said, absolutely not. She just wants to win. So it seems very gratifying that Zaya Cook has come out and started this game off so well. Didn't pout, waited her turn, and is ready for the big moment.
And is playing well. She struggled turning the basketball over in that semifinal game, but has come out here and taken good care of it.
Played just 22 minutes in that win against Louisville. Here's Williams firing a 3 and can't hit it. Boston soars in for the rebound. Connecticut is now 0 for 7 from downtown. And that's going to be an offensive foul against Saxton. And that will be her first.
That's got to be frustrating for Dawn Staley because you want to at least get a shot up.
Here's a look from the target above the rim count.
Because if you get a shot up, you know that Saxton at least can go get the offensive board. You see her there with the foul. Which tells her team, you know, about half the time if you miss the shot, it's okay because we're going to get the offensive board.
Yeah, Dawn Staley joked with us earlier in the season. She said, I tell them, we just don't want turnovers. We don't mind missed shots. Missed shots are offensive rebounds for us. They rebound 47% of their misses. Here's Edwards, giving a world of space, sending through Williams. Fudd, pull-up jumper, gets blocked by Saxton. Hazy Fudd unable to get anything going thus far. No points. No points for Williams as well. You know, Auriemma has told us in his mind, those two and Beckers are getting 20 every night. Boston gets fouled, And Aaliyah Boston is going to shoot 2.
Victoria Saxton on one end gets the offensive foul call, but it's not just Aaliyah Boston who has the length. Saxton has length to block the shot as well. It was a great decision this end by Destiny Henderson. She got the ball back, waited, knew she wanted to get it into Boston, and then she delivered it perfectly.
Aaliyah Boston, the 3-time All-American, the Defensive Player of the Year and the Player of the Year this season. Her parents catching the action. Boston from St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. What a star she is as Saxton comes up with the offensive rebound. Henderson zipping, reversing, and gets the whistle against Williams. More free throws for South Carolina after yet another offensive rebound.
Every time a shot goes up, even if it's a free throw, they're pursuing the ball. Look at that by Saxton, and then going and securing it for her team.
Saxton had 26 offensive rebounds in the tournament entering this game. As Amihir will come and grab Saxton. We've seen her add 3 more already tonight. Henderson hits the first.
And you said in the first half, but the eye-popping offensive rebounds and stuff at this end for South Carolina. Their defense. Connecticut has not scored yet this quarter.
And went into the half with a little momentum. Nika Mule into the game for Connecticut. Mule nearly turns it over. Gets it back. Williams, the senior, on the bench now. Has not scored. Has 2 fouls. Nelson Adota gives it up. Page looking for some space. Bud didn't take it. Great D here from South Carolina. And another Connecticut turnover. Beal able to save it. Here comes South Carolina. Dawn Staley calling out a play. Directing traffic with Cook and Boston. Here's Henderson. Cook swivels inside and banks it in. South Carolina starting the third, much the same they started the first. Backdoor, Beckers gets loose for 2, and those are the first points of the half for UConn. A 9-0 South Carolina run ends there.
Their defense, South Carolina's defense, has been smothering. Their pursuit of any loose ball or rebound has been incredible.
Lob inside. Amihir couldn't handle it. Out of bounds to Connecticut. The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by Champion, giving women the confidence to play by their own rules. The men's national championship game is tomorrow night with coverage beginning at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on TBS. For more information, go to ncaa.com. What a classic last night between Duke and North Carolina. Kansas and UNC will have center stage tomorrow night. Tonight it's South Carolina and UConn, and the Gamecocks have just been incredible defensively again tonight. How about 46 straight games where they have held opponents under their scoring average? Tonight, Connecticut has just 29 points more than midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, South Carolina is stifling defensively. They've got great length, they've got great size, and the players who don't have quickness, they just make life so difficult for their opponent.
Avina Westbrook into the game for Connecticut. We'll see how she does on that ankle she tweaked at the end of the first half. A little pressure applied by South Carolina. Westbrook directing traffic. Gets it up the floor as Henderson comes up with a steal. Connecticut turns it over for a 12th time.
Great decision the last few possessions by South Carolina to extend that pressure.
Cook bounces into Boston. Boston one-on-one with Nelson Adota. Leah Boston has it stripped by Beckers. Good dig from the UConn star. Down the floor, Mule has to peel back out. Nelson Udoka, a terrific passing big. Dumps it into Westbrook. Goes up, looked like she got hit, no call. And South Carolina controls it. Cook around the Boston screen. Short. Boston nearly another offensive rebound, and a foul's called against Beal. Now let's see, Rebecca, whether or not Westbrook had a case for a call on that last shot.
Her defender is smaller than her, so she was posting her up, and Boston came over for help.
Oh, she might have missed her.
Yeah.
Looked like the right no call. She came with a swipe, but didn't hit anything. There was intent, but no contact.
I don't think intent matters.
It doesn't.
I'm in foul.
Here's Mule. Mule through traffic, flips it out. Westbrook off on a three. Remember, Westbrook hit 3 big threes in the semifinal against Stanford. Dawn Staley not happy. Late whistle there on the glass against South Carolina, and it's the third on Bree Beal. And now Dawn Staley is going to send in the freshman Bree Hall.
Oh yeah, Beal gets Edwards right in the face.
Mule traveled. That is 13 Connecticut turnovers.
One of the things Gino Auriemma told us in order for his team to have success today is his backcourt had to play equally as well as they did in the semifinal game. And Kristen Williams has struggled. AZ Fudd has not gotten a lot of run, but certainly not what he had hoped for so far in this game.
Well, they both haven't scored. Oh, I think Amihi thought Victoria Saxton was in play.
That's why you got to kneel at the scorer's bench.
Saxton ran to the scorer's table, and Amihi thought she had a wide open teammate.
Yeah, normally you go over and you kneel. She's getting over there, and yeah, that's exactly what happened.
14-point South Carolina lead. Connecticut scored just 2 points in this third. Here's Beckers. She might have to do it herself. Beckers bounces. Edwards able to finish. Connecticut trailed by as many as 18 in the second quarter, had cut it down to 7, trailed by 8 at the half. South Carolina breaks the pressure. Boston 8 points, 8 rebounds thus far. Cook looking to turn the corner. Hall winds up. Can't hit the 3. Beckers the rebound. Ducharme, aggressive attack. Gets denied by Boston. The defensive player of the year.
She can clean up so much because Ducharme got a step going to the rim. But Boston right there to send it.
Beckers creeps in, flips out. Ducharme connects on a 3. The first of the evening for Connecticut after missing their first 8 attempts. A 7-0 push here from the Huskies. Henderson. Cook will fire. No. Rebound kicked. Loose. Who's going to get it? It's Beckers, and an opportunity here for Connecticut. Mule. Westbrook. A 3 is good. It's a 10-0 Connecticut run and a 6-point game. Timeout, South Carolina.
Connecticut without a 3 made in the first half, desperately needs them now. Caroline Ducharme hitting from the corner, Evina Westbrook hitting from the corner. Connecticut not willing to go down without a fight.
Well, the Connecticut Huskies have creeped to within 6 after being down 18. That Westbrook triple bringing Connecticut to a 6-point deficit. And yeah, Gamble Pavilion, they love it. Sold out in Stores, Connecticut. A 10-0 Connecticut run. And this is a Connecticut team that has not had a traditional Connecticut season. They had their 239-game winning streak against unranked opponents snapped against Georgia Tech. Their 145-game conference winning streak snapped. They had 5 regular season losses, most since the 04-05 season. Gino Auriemma called it the most difficult season of his 37-year career at the helm. But through it all, they've been resilient. And Rebecca, they're showing that again tonight. Once down 18, it's now a 6-point game.
Yeah, so much of the season undermanned because they had players out with COVID, players out with injuries. It's been one of the toughest years ever.
Henderson, too strong, loose ball. Who's going to grab it? Saxton has it for South Carolina. A tie-up. And the possession arrow, no, a travel is called instead, and it is Connecticut basketball. By the way, that foul on the inbound prior called on Edwards, her second.
Surprised on that possession by South Carolina to not see Aaliyah Boston get a paint touch. When Connecticut went on their 10-0 run in those 3 minutes, 1 paint touch for Aaliyah Boston.
Just 3 points between the second and third quarter for the player of the year. Beckers goes back door, lost it. Henderson has it. And a foul from Beckers as bodies hit the floor. Not a wise one with South Carolina in the bonus and headed to the free throw line after the 14th Connecticut turnover. Lily Grissett will check in for South Carolina. Lily, grad student, playing in her 143rd career game at South Carolina, a school record. By the way, this is the closest South Carolina has seen this score since it was 7-2 with 7:39 left in the first quarter. They raced out of the gates. Henderson misses the first, a 71% free throw shooter.
South Carolina not only really good getting to the offensive glass on field goals, they are also good getting to misses on free throws.
Mom staying poised with Destiny at the line, who goes 1 for 2. Seven-point game. Connecticut not trying to get into a 2 for 1. Westbrook. Step back jumper, off the mark. Boston got there for the board. Henderson, the Euro and the finish. Destiny Henderson trying to nullify that graphic. Ducharme goes baseline. Connecticut can hold for 1 here. Lead back to 9. Westbrook, a 3, no, missed it badly. Hall, a chance here. Hall heaves, nearly got it to go. That'll do it for the third. South Carolina, a 9-point lead, headed to the fourth.
Destiny Henderson leading all scorers with 16 has been spectacular.
Her head coach, Dawn Staley, chats with Holly. That's coming up next. Here is a look at the WBCA Coaches Trophy presented by Invesco QQQ, which will be awarded to the national championship winning coach tonight. Will it be Dawn Staley, her team leading by 9 after 3? Here's Coach Staley with Holly Rowe.
Coach Dawn Staley, your team is off to such a good start, but UConn went on a little bit of a run there. What concerns you the most about that stretch?
Oh, bad shots. When we take bad shots, unexpected shots, we can't rebound the basketball. And they turn those bad shots or turnovers into transition easy buckets.
Leah Boston went a while without touches in critical places. What do you have to do to get her more looks?
I just got to get her the ball. We got to be more premeditated in getting her the basketball. And we'll do that in the fourth quarter. She got to bring it on home.
Best fit ever. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ollie.
Well, speaking of not getting Aaliyah Boston the basketball, let's check in with Andrea Carter.
Well, what Coach Staley said was perfect about being premeditated to get Aaliyah Boston the basketball. And this is what it should look like when Aaliyah Boston is one-on-one down low. The premeditation comes from stop that cut, the ball goes here. Instead, the cut comes through, the ball swings around instead of getting Aaliyah Boston a look. That's what premeditation and being intentional about going to your best player looks like.
Drea, Boston only had 4 paint touches on 19 total possessions in that third quarter. It needs to change.
And South Carolina had 7 turnovers in the third quarter and yet increased their lead by 1 more point from halftime. 9-point lead, fourth quarter of this national championship game. Here's the freshman Hall. Bodies into Edwards, and that's going to be a travel as South Carolina turns it over. They've gotten big-time production from their guards tonight. Meanwhile, Connecticut is not. Kristen Williams and AZ Fudd have not scored in this game. They normally combine to average 27 points per game.
Connecticut needs big fourth quarter from their guards in order to win this game.
Here is Williams back on the floor. Edwards hits the jumper. How about the confidence in the face-up?
Last possession, Connecticut was in a zone defense, clogging up the middle. Here, looks like they're back to their man-to-man.
Reveal. Settle it outside. Camila Cardoso in the game, the 6'7" center. Here's Boston, spinning, floating, can't hit. Rebound, Connecticut. Down 7. Boston 8 points, 9 rebounds. 3 for 8 from the floor. So impressive the way she could switch on to guards. Stood up Williams there. Here's Beckers looking for space. Edwards, little runner, won't go, and Boston has her 10th rebound.
Yeah, you talked about Aaliyah Boston defensively. That's one of the things she can do that most players her size can't. She can switch out, prevent guards from going by her. It's a pro skill.
Henderson zipping into the lane, cups it in. Destiny Henderson wants this title. 18 points tonight for Henderson. Ducharme gets swallowed up by Boston. Here comes Henderson, all alone.
Two possessions in a row where the defense and presence of Aaliyah Boston have made a difference on the defensive end. Destiny Henderson continues to be the engine for South Carolina. And Aaliyah Boston's got her back, blocking, leading her out, trying to ensure victory.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley familiar with cutting down the net. Stay tuned for the championship net cutting ceremony brought to you by Werner Ladder, coming up after the game on ESPN and the ESPN app. South Carolina an 11-point lead, 7:54 to go in the fourth quarter of the national championship game. Destiny Henderson with 20 points. She is bringing it tonight, Holly.
Well, we talked to her today at practice, and I asked her what drives her, and she said, you know, I've just been through so much. I've lost loved ones. Her father was tragically killed a few years ago, and she said, it's just been really hard. I'm trying to make something of myself, make something and overcome what's happened to my family. And here tonight, my entire life will change if we're able to get a win. Is Destiny prophetic in the naming of this young woman, given her performance tonight?
Feels like it thus far. Beckers gets it off, just her third field goal attempt of the second half and just her 10th of the game. Boston able to secure it. Fudd back into the game for Connecticut. battling illness in 11 minutes, just 0 for 2 from the floor as Fudd.
And keep in mind, everything Destiny Henderson is doing and excelling at on the offense of the floor, she's got the toughest defensive assignment, guarding Paige Beckers.
Edwards goes through the back of Beal, and that's going to be number 3 on Aaliyah Edwards. South Carolina has been the #1 team in the nation all season long, the 13th team to go wire-to-wire ranked as the #1 in the AP poll. 11 of the previous 12 went on to win the national championship. The only one who didn't, UConn in 2018. Here's Beal spotting up, can't hit the 3. Saxton on the offensive glass and a foul. Westbrook was left alone, matched up on Saxton, and Victoria Saxton is going to win that matchup.
Right now, UConn has a smaller lineup, and this is their scoring lineup, but it leaves them susceptible because of the lack of size for a player like Victoria Saxton to just get in there and haul in the board.
20th offensive rebound for South Carolina as Saxton hits the first. Consuela, Victoria's mother, putting out good vibes on both free throws.
It worked.
It sure did. Mom loves it. 13-point South Carolina lead. 5-0 boards for Saxton. And every time Connecticut has cut it to 6, cut it to 7, the Gamecocks have had an answer to boost it right back up to double digits. Ducharme gets fouled by Henderson. And free throws here for Caroline Ducharme. Almost had 2 interlocked huddles there.
Yeah, right.
This will be just the 3rd and 4th free throws of the game for Connecticut. Such a massive part of their win against Stanford. Shot 15 of 17 in the 4th. This free throw here. Sports Center coming up next. After UConn, South Carolina on ESPN and the ESPN app. Plenty of coverage from here. Ducharme missed them both. A 79% free throw shooter.
South Carolina did this really well the first time these teams met, when they got the lead, not shooting quickly, taking time off the clock.
Henderson. Switched on Edwards. Henderson, not that time. Fudd flags it down. Here comes Connecticut, trailing by 13. Westbrook. Veering, dishing, Ducharme lays it in. One thing we have seen, Connecticut has shown resilience throughout this season and this game. They've not been able to get over the hump, though, against an outstanding South Carolina team. Boston. Spins between 2, can't float it in, got a foul. Ducharme is called for it. And Aaliyah Boston is going right back to the line, and that one was a little tough for Gino to stomach.
Dawn Staley orchestrated that play, telling her team, go to the right side of the floor. That's where Aaliyah Boston was. They wanted to make sure she got a touch after some time had been taken off the clock.
8 points, 13 rebounds for Boston. And we were talking with Dawn Staley about Boston's season, and she said she feels like Boston really took off after the Bahamas. One of the games in the Bahamas, South Carolina played Buffalo, and Boston put up 23 points and 7 rebounds. Felt like she had a good game. And Dawn Staley said, I hurt her feelings a little bit, and I said, you weren't dominant. In order for us to get where we need to go, I don't care what the stats say, you need to be dominant every single night like that. Cook gives it back. Henderson. Ball fakes the 3. Beal will line it up. Can't knock it down. Good box out that time from Edwards. UConn needs to make a push. Ducharme looked like she was fouled, and she was.
We've seen Aaliyah Boston block guards, and here's another one. Just comes in, doesn't even have to leave her feet. Lets her hands do all the work.
Holly?
We've told the story before, but for those of you new to our broadcast tonight, Aaliyah Boston grew up in the U.S. Virgin Islands on the island of St. Thomas. At a young age, 12 years old, her coach encouraged her if she wanted to be great, she had to leave the island. So her mom arranged for her to go to Massachusetts and live with their aunt there. Her and her sister Alexis spent most of their childhood there. She said it was hard. We missed family Christmases, birthdays. It was hard without my parents, but it has all been worth it. The sacrifice of the entire Boston family, Cleone, Al, Alexis. It has been a beautiful journey for this family to see their daughter on this stage tonight.
You can imagine what it feels like for them to sit there and watch their daughter getting so close to her dream, the family's dream.
Fourth foul on Ducharme as Connecticut turns it over for a 15th time off the inbound after Beal had picked up her fourth. Beal on the bench now. We're set into the game for South Carolina. Henderson will take and hit. Destiny Henderson with 22. Fudd yet to score in this game. Looking for help. Williams shovels. Ducharme, no. Boston the rebound. South Carolina in total control. Henderson racing in for two more. Fudd gets an open look and knocks down the triple. Destiny Henderson a career high 24 points tonight. As Fudd is finally on the board. Connecticut now just 3 for 13 from 3. Henderson giving it up. Boston dishing it back. Henderson, not that time. And Connecticut make one more push. Trailing by 13. Beckers looking for space. She has not been able to find much all night. Beckers finds some here and knocks down the triple. Back-to-back threes from Connecticut and a timeout taken. 10-point game with 3:18 to go in the fourth.
Destiny Henderson, whether it's been in transition scoring, getting the handoff, stepping into it, has been an incredibly confident performer here in the biggest game of her life.
And the South Carolina watch party, yeah. They certainly believe it's a night of destiny. Dawn Staley huddling her troops. Gino Auriemma, 11-0 in championship games, has just one timeout remaining now. But back-to-back threes, and that's resuscitated things a little bit here for the Huskies.
Yeah, you expect them now to pick up in some full-court pressure, trying to get traps, hands-on basketballs, anything. And then on the other end, or when it goes down into the quarter court, a lot of attention to Destiny Henderson, a lot of attention to Aaliyah Boston, and then trying to box out.
That three from Beckers was just her fourth field goal attempt of the second half. Had 9 points in the second quarter, has 14 for the game. She is the only member of UConn in double figures. Cook and Henderson, the only Gamecocks in double figures. Here is the pressure. Boston breaks it easily. Henderson wiggling away from the trap. Williams extends to Cook. Nelson Adota back in for Connecticut. South Carolina being patient here. And a foul is called against Nelson Adota. That will send South Carolina to the line. All postseason long, it was hard to see a path to victory for Connecticut if their guards did not play great. Williams and Fudd have had real difficulty tonight.
And a lot of that, you have to credit South Carolina's defense. They have been smothering with their size and quickness, not only inside, but on the perimeter.
Last year, Dawn Staley told us she had her most committed defensive team ever. So we said, how about this year? What superlative would you give? She said, even better. 26 now for Henderson, and it's back to 12. Gino Auriemma saying, let's go. And a foul called against Boston. That'll be the third foul against South Carolina. So out of bounds here for the Huskies. Becker's in the corner, can't hit the three, loose ball, who's gonna have it? A whistle against Connecticut as Saxton hits the floor, doing the dirty work. And Gino Auriemma in a very precarious situation when it comes to that undefeated championship game record. It's 22nd Final Four, 11-0 in championship games as Westbrook checks out. Saxton goes to the line. Beal and Ducharme, the only two with 4 fouls. Dawn Staley calls Victoria Saxton the mother hen. Said she's the adult in the room. Victoria said, she's been this way always, on the floor and off. Loves to take care of the rest of this team. She's done the little things again tonight, does it here, although she's called for a foul. Looked like it might have just been a tie-up, but Saxton picks up her second, and that will be the 4th team foul against South Carolina.
Saxton, 5 rebounds on the day, all of them on the offensive end.
And Westbrook, you could see really laboring with that ankle in this second half. Pressure from South Carolina. Here's Ducharme. Ducharme finding Beckers. Knocked out of bounds by Saxton.
It's smothering.
It's relentless.
Yes, relentless and smothering. It's the best way to describe South Carolina's defense.
Beckers trying to get around Boston. Step back, won't go. Foul on Mule. More free throws for South Carolina. South Carolina about to shoot its 21st and 22nd free throws of the game. Connecticut has shot just 4. Heard Carolyn, Nikki, and Elle talk about how different things are for Connecticut when they get to the line 13 or more times this season. They have not been able to tonight.
Well, South Carolina's been the team that's attacked. They've been the team that's pursued the basketball. Most loose balls have gone their way. That's also the team that ends up more at the free throw line.
1 for 2 on that trip, and still more pressure applied by South Carolina here. Ducharme jogs it across. Connecticut running out of time. Williams finds some space. Can't hit the jumper. The senior Kristen Williams still has not scored tonight. South Carolina fans getting on their feet, 2 minutes away from their second national championship, and a foul here on Ducharme. And she is done. That's number 5.
A tough game for Connecticut. Caroline Ducharme was certainly a bright spot.
Asia Wilson can certainly sense it. The WNBA MVP a couple seasons ago, and the Final Four most outstanding player the last time the Gamecocks hoisted the national championship trophy. Saxton, this is the first. This is South Carolina team that has talked about unfinished business all season long. Felt like they were poised for a title 2 seasons ago, didn't have a tournament thanks to COVID. Last year came a missed layup and a missed putback away from advancing to the national championship game. This year they're trying to leave no doubt as Williams is finally on the board. 13-point game. Boston gives it back to Henderson. She flips it into traffic. Nelson Ado to the steal. Mule, eyes up. Williams wants it. Looking for some space to shoot a three. Connecticut taking a lot of time here now. They gotta go. Beckers dishes out. Williams fires. Can't hit the three. Nelson Ado sets up Edwards. Off on a jumper. Boston the rebound. Foul Nelson Ado. And Aaliyah Boston will go to the line with more precious time coming off the clock. Only 1:15 to go now.
13-point lead with under 2 minutes to go, and South Carolina's defense is just as smothering as it was early in the game. Incredible effort, start to finish.
South Carolina is a plus 23 on the glass. Boston, one free throw away from yet another double-double. Her 30th of the season. Mom and Dad have seen a lot of it. Boston got them both. Edwards races in, misses the layup, another rebound for Boston. And it's just a matter of time now. Boston giving it up. Henderson looking for some icing. Knocked out of bounds by Fudd. It will stay with South Carolina. Dawn Staley on the brink of championship number 2. Connecticut, who fought so hard all season. Gino Auriemma told us there have been times in the Final Four in the national championship game where it's like a kid who knows their Christmas presents, knew it was coming. He said this year was so different, unexpected victories. But South Carolina is going to be the one celebrating tonight as their starters come out. .30 seconds to go. Russell, that's going to be a charge as Nika Mule, fitting of her tough style, still in there taking contact with 20 seconds to go. South Carolina bench begins to erupt. A wire-to-wire victory tonight. It is not unfinished business any longer. South Carolina has captured its second national championship. Tears of triumph in 2022. From the moment that putback missed, Aaliyah Boston was on a mission. Mission complete for she, Dawn Staley, in South Carolina.
This is a team that was dominant from the beginning of the season to the end. And in the national championship game, they were dominant from the beginning to the end.
And Holly is standing by with Aaliyah.
Nobody can understand the journey that it has taken you to be crowned a champion here tonight. How do you describe the sacrifice and the work that has brought you to this very moment?
Holly, it feels amazing, and honestly, I've been thinking about this since last season because everyone had a picture of me crying at the end of the Final Four, and they put it everywhere as if that was some type of... But today we're national champions, and I need tears, Holly. I need tears. So if you guys want to smile, here you go. And we're national champions.
We'll save that smile, Aaliyah. It was hard, though. This is a tough UConn team. How did you get out to such a great start in this game?
I mean, we had our game plan ready to execute. We knew that we needed to apply so much defensive pressure, make it hard for Paige, and make someone else score. And I think we did that, and that helped our offense to run.
It was a master class on the glass. How did the dominance inside really seal this win?
We knew that we've been dominant on the glass all season, and we couldn't change up, especially for this game. We knew it would come down to rebounding.
All right, we'll remember this night, Aaliyah. No more tears.
No more tears except for having national champions, baby!
Aaliyah Boston, utter and complete dominance, wire to wire this season and tonight. As we take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance, how about Destiny Henderson this evening?
She saved her career high for the national championship game. 26 points on the day on the offensive end. Spectacular, using her speed, getting it out in transition, hitting three-point shots, but equally as impressive was what she did on the defensive end, making Paige Bueckers work for everything she could get. Wow, she was terrific.
And Destiny is with Holly.
Destiny, not only are you holding the national championship trophy, but you did it with a career high. How did you get your offense working?
My teammates trusted in me. I feel like since day one, we've been putting in the hard work and waiting for this moment. And tonight, I just found open shots.
You had a difficult defensive assignment tonight, guarding Paige Bueckers. How were you able to lock in and slow her down?
I knew I had to use my speed to make sure I stay with her. I think that's what we've been practicing all along, and the first time we played them, that really worked out well for us, so I knew to come into this game I had to bring the same momentum.
You told me today you've had a tough upbringing, and it's an overcoming type of moment for you that tonight could change your life. How do you hope that manifests itself?
I just stayed positive. My teammates believed in me once again. We've been working so hard since day one, and it finally paid off. All my hard work, all my focus, me trusting the process, me trusting Dawn. She just put me in a position just to be great, and today we national champions.
I know you've got your own clothing line. The tagline seems perfect for this moment right now. What is it, Henny?
Anything is possible, baby. Make sure y'all go shop. clothingbyhp.com. Yes, sir.
Anything is possible. Thank you so much, Destiny.
Thank you so much.
I think Kevin Garnett is going to be getting something from Destiny Henderson off her clothing website. What a performance here tonight. And Dawn Staley's South Carolina Gamecocks become just the 8th school to have multiple national championships. A title in 2017 and now a title here in 2022. Well, last year, South Carolina came within a putback of being in the national championship game. Last year, tears of sadness and disbelief for Aaliyah Boston. This year, tears of joy. South Carolina 64, UConn 49. The final. Stick around on ESPN for continued coverage of the Werner Ladder net cutting ceremony. Sports Center coming up next after the break.
This is Sports Center.
That guy said it all. It is Sports Center on your television. Nicole Briscoe, John Anderson, thanks for having us. So winning a national title, right, that's nice.
Good.
But in this case, it's Minnesota nice.
This game went exactly as this season went for South Carolina, wire to wire. They were the #1 team in the regular season. They finished this season as they started it. #1 national champs, Al Duncan anchoring a coverage. Take it away, girl.
Thank you so much, John and Nicole. There she is, Aaliyah Boston, the first person
in the women's basketball history to win Naismith Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. You just heard her talk with Holly about what it looked like, the pain on her face after the heartbreak in the Final Four just a season ago against Stanford, and her redemption song tonight, Tears of Joy, the difference and the agony. South Carolina, national champions for the second time in school history. We had talked so much, Carolyn Peck and Nikki Fargas, about Gino Auriemma and his perfect 11-0 record in the national championship. But you know what? What we didn't know is that UConn tonight was going to have a date with destiny. You like that?
I did.
Okay. Let's just talk about Destiny Henderson, because we're not showing her on the screen right now. But she was an absolute revelation, almost willing this team to a win here tonight.
Destiny Henderson, 26 points. She just took over. The one thing that we talked about in the pregame show after they beat Louisville was the guards had to play well in order for South Carolina to win a national championship. We knew they were going to dominate the paint. We knew they were going to dominate the glass, but for Destiny Henderson to step up like she did, that was amazing. It was amazing to see Destiny control the entire tempo of the game. She was under control. She played with great poise, and she was able to not only facilitate for her offensively, but she was also to handle the pressure when UConn was really trying to make their run. You saw that they wanted the ball in her hands every single time because Dawn wanted to run specific play action to get specific players the basketball.
And how about Henderson on the defensive end of the floor?
Yeah.
I mean, Connecticut's success when they were able to make runs was led by Paige Beckers. And Henderson did such a great job when she would get rid of the ball, not letting her get it back. Think about the energy she was extending on the defensive end of the floor, and then able to still be as productive and as fierce and as fast as she was offensively. Incredible performance.
It's incredible as well, because again, sort of in the build-up to this, and maybe if there was one concern for a team who has dominated, right, in D1 this year, it was the guards and whether they could score. That was a question. And we had felt maybe a little bit of that pressure had been alleviated over the last couple of rounds, where we saw how big they stepped up, not only in Louisville, but also in the Elite Eight. But were you expecting to see Destiny Henderson to have that kind of night, to see Zia Cook have that kind of night here on the Sports Night?
What I wasn't expecting was for the game to start the way it did, and for South Carolina just come out and pound and pound and pound and get offensive rebound after offensive rebound. Usually there's some nerves. The first 5 minutes of a championship game, they did not look like they had nerves at all. It looked to me like they were going to be a team who said, all right, we are going to play this way, impose our will on the game. And Connecticut took a step back from it. I mean, South Carolina came out from the jump and said, this is our championship to win.
And we know that basketball in general is a game of runs, and specifically, right, this matchup. We saw it back in November, CP. You called that game. You talked about what happened. UConn came out really strong, and then it's South Carolina that started turning them over. They go on that 23-5 run. They end up winning that game in a rout. But it seems as though every single time UConn would make that gap just a little bit closer, every time they'd go on a run, South Carolina had so much poise. They never panicked.
The thing about South Carolina is they peaked at the right time.
Yeah.
When they got to the Sweet 16, they had a great defensive game. Ball wasn't going in the hole. They didn't shoot it extremely well. And I remember Steffi Sorensen interviewed Dawn Staley, and Dawn said, listen, experts, you see my defense, but you question my offense. She said, but in the right time, those shots are going to fall. And from that point on, from the Sweet 16 to the Elite Eight to the semifinals till tonight, Dawn Staley had a vision and knew what her team was capable of, and that they were going to do it at the right time.
And one of the reasons I think the fast start was so important, Dawn Staley was able to go to her bench a little bit earlier than she has been. And as a result, they could continue to be relentless because they never had to get tired. Wave after wave of player came in, another big player, another good guard. So for the entire game, they were able to put that pressure on. Defensively, they were able to put that pressure on, attacking the offensive glass because they were fresh and had body after body, All-American after All-American who could come in and contribute.
But the pressure was not just in the half court. You saw Dawn go to her press And to me, that is going to exhaust an offensive team a little bit more, because now you got to go 94 feet, and now you're going against trapping. And she was able to change the pace of the game by eliminating UConn to have a lot of time on the shot clock. If you look, there were times where the shot clock was going down, 10, 9, 8. And UConn offense struggled a little bit because it was rushed, because they were eating up so much time with their pressure full court.
Well, the two things that you all talked about, the fatigue factor. And Dawn being able to go to her bench, the press takes a lot out of you. I did that first game in the Bahamas, and that's one of the things that Gino Auriemma has talked about in the fourth quarter. He said, we were just exhausted because South Carolina just keeps wearing on you and wearing on you and wearing on you. In the fourth quarter, they really didn't have anything left.
You see right now that the team is making their way onto the stage. Dawn Staley, they're trying to collect her. We're going to get ready for the trophy presentation. We talk about Dawn Staley and what she's been able to do, winning the national championship in 2017. Many people believe they probably would have won it in 2020. We can't play the what-if game, but of course, that tournament was canceled because of COVID. We heard some of Dawn talking about that, staff talking about. They felt like they were in control that year, and to be able to do this after dominating all year long, incredible. Now Dawn Staley becomes just the sixth coach in women's basketball history to win more than one national championship. And there they are on the stage. The fans are still here. This place is, listen, I'm going to say, I thought, and I said it in the pregame show, it's probably going to be a pro UConn crowd because of Paige Beckers and her connection to Minnesota. And honestly, based on what we saw on Friday in the semifinals, this was a very big South Carolina crowd. They are still here cheering on their Gamecocks.
And they certainly had a lot to cheer about today. They felt like this section was standing the entire second half.
All right, let's get it down to Holly Rowe right now as we get ready for the trophy presentation. Followed by that, we'll do the cutting of the nets. So we'll get it down to Holly right now on the court.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for our trophy presentation tonight.
That's my idol right there.
We are so excited to be back in person celebrating these young women who worked so hard. First and foremost, we would like to bring in Coach Dawn Staley. And Coach Staley, this felt like it was a long time coming, but what is delayed is not denied. How did your team find the patience to not quit and finally reach this summit tonight?
First, I got to give, I have to give glory to God. Glory to God. I think people don't really understand that our path was divinely ordered. And the order was for us to be national champions on this day. On this day. The fight. Our team had the fight of champions all season long. All season long. And I do have to give a real good shout out to our players who don't get in the game a whole lot. We had 16 players, probably 7 or 8 of them prepared us. They prepared us for UConn. They prepared us for Louisville. They prepared us for Creighton. And they don't get the shine, but I'm gonna give them the shine right now. So thank you all. E-O, Anaya, Lee, who we got? Sanaya, everyone, because I think a lot of times we got the National Player of the Year. We got great talent on our team, and they get overshadowed. So I just want to say thank you all. Thank you all for sharing and accepting roles that aren't favorable.
Coach, this was a good game. Several times UConn came back in, pulled within one. How did your team keep extending the lead, and making this so difficult?
UConn is not only a great team, they're a great tradition. They're a part of our women's basketball history that you really can't take that away from them. But again, today, order. It was divinely ordered for us to be champions today. We weren't going to be denied. We were going to play it every possession like it was our last possession. I know our players are super exhausted, but they were determined to be champions today.
Second national championship for Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks, and we couldn't have done it tonight without the most outstanding player. She picked up every other award in America this week, so she might as well have this one too. Aaliyah Edwards, your 2022 most outstanding player. Aaliyah Boston, Aaliyah Boston, Aaliyah Boston. I'm sorry, Aaliyah Boston. I said Aaliyah Boston. I fixed it. Come on over.
I'll take it. It's all
She'll
right.
take it. You know who I meant. I'm sorry. This has been a difficult challenge for you all year. You have had so many people double, triple teaming you all the time. How have you been able to fight through all that and show the patience that you worked on?
I mean, a lot of it just comes from my teammates. They're going in positions and helping me be able to see them so I can make the right pass.
Your teammates have been there behind you all the way. They worked so hard to try to get you the ball and support you in these moments. How did you support them and lean on them tonight?
I mean, I just tried to do everything I can, especially on the defensive end, and just be there.
Your parents are here. I know your mom and dad, Al and Cleone, they've sacrificed so much. I see mom right here. Your auntie Jennaire, who helped you and raised you, you got to go live with her. What do you say to your family who has given so much for you to be in, your sister Alexis, to be in this moment?
I just want to say thank you guys for all the sacrifices that you've made and for being able to travel to Minnesota to watch me play, because now I'm a national champion.
Thank you so much, Aaliyah. Yes, please.
Hey, Candace Parker, I'd like to say hi. I love you, girl.
She's giving you the I love you sign. I see her right here. All right, so now to do the real business. Thank you, Aaliyah Boston. I'm sorry for that mistake. Forgive me, please. You know I love you, right? Okay, thank you. Now I want to introduce the president of the NCAA, Dr. Mark Emmert, our vice president of women's basketball, Lynn Holzman, and our athletic director from Duke, also the committee chair for women's basketball this year, Nina King. Please come on up and let's do the business. And now to present the championship trophy to your 2022 South Carolina Gamecocks, Mark Emmert.
First of all, I want to thank the city of Minneapolis for hosting this amazing championship. They've done an incredible job. All of the fans that have been here, especially these Gamecock fans, what an electric environment. But most importantly, congratulations to this year's national championship, the University of South Carolina Gamecocks.
Go Cox! Yeah! Go Cox, Coach. Don't let her fall out.
Okay, don't go anywhere because they were so good, we're giving them more trophies. Now to present our WBCA Coaches Trophy. This is going to be presented by Invesco QQQ. Here is the Executive Director of the WBCA, Danielle Donahue. Danielle? Wow.
Maybe like a chandelier.
Yeah, we're ready.
Chandelier.
Okay.
Wow.
Please help me in also recognizing Gino Auriemma and the UConn Huskies on a remarkable season. But tonight belongs to Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Congratulations on your second national title. And it's my pleasure to award the Invesco QQQ WBCA Coaches Trophy to Coach Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks.
They don't want want any part of that, and they know you've never turned it over in your life, so give that back. Well, we'd like to thank all of the fans who've come out. This was a sold-out crowd, an unbelievable environment. So many of you here. We just thank you for your support and your love of women's basketball. And ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate one more time the incredible, the incomparable 2022 national champions, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
So there it is, the trophy presentation to the national champions. They were #1 all year long, every single week, and here they are with the trophy, with the title, and very soon we'll be cutting down the nets. Let's stick it there with Dawn Staley for a second, since they were just talking about her. As our coaches here on the set, Carolyn Peck and Nikki Fargas, put into perspective, we talked a lot about what this legacy, a win like this, what would it do for Dawn Staley's legacy? She now joins just Gino Auriemma as the only coaches ever, right, to coach the Olympic team to a gold medal, and then in the next year, took a team to the title and the national championship. We also mentioned how hard it is. You won one, Carolyn Peck, how hard it is to win two. What do you make of that smile on Dawn Staley's face?
Well, like you said, how hard it is to win the first one, and then to go after and really live up to the expectations puts that additional pressure. But what Dawn has done is she has set a standard in Columbia, South Carolina. When you come to Columbia, South Carolina, the expectation is that you are playing for a national championship, not just to participate, not to finish in the top 4, but to win a championship. It's a mentality that she has instilled, not only in her players, but in her community. They have had led the nation in attendance for now the last 8 years. Now that this season,
they're called fans.
The fans, and they are here in Minneapolis. When you build that kind of culture, that's where kids want to come, because they want to play in front of a big crowd.
You know, I was fortunate to play for the great Pat Summitt, and obviously we won 8 titles. And it's not an easy thing to do. It really isn't. It's not easy to win 1. It's not easy to win 2. It definitely isn't easy what Gino has done in winning 11. But I will say this about Dawn Staley, having played against her in college, the teams that she coaches and have coached, they take the personality on of her.
Of course.
And you can see how she can come at them and she can challenge them, and they respond because she's been there and done it and been in their shoes, so she's able to speak to it. So when you're watching her also practice or in practice, she's out there demoing and talking them through what it's going to take to win a title, because physically she was able to win at the elite level. So to have a coach that was a player and a coach that also won an Olympian and played with you, Rebecca, I mean, this is something that's really special for her to do this at this level and this stage of her life.
That's exactly what I was going to ask Rebecca. I mean, you played with her on the national team. How has her personality as a player informed the kind of coach she is?
Well, she was feisty. She was feisty as a player, and she kept everybody accountable, even as a teammate. And what's impressed me talking to Dawn throughout the season, then in this tournament, is it's always been about the players.
Yep.
It's always been about the players. You know, she wanted unfinished business for the players. You know, that the gods weren't smiling on them last year, and how much she hurt for Aaliyah Boston last year, and how the season ended for that team. And every player from that team returned, and that conversation continued this year about the players. Even when we heard her up on the podium, the first thing she said was thanking all of the players who don't get the shine, those who don't get all of the minutes on the court. So she keeps the attention in a lot of ways where it belongs. It could easily go to Dawn Staley and what she's built and what she's done and success she's had, and she brings it back to the players. And I think that's what the great coaches do, is they want that moment not for themselves, they want it for their teams.
I love what she said yesterday when we were here for the All Access practice and Holly was talking to her. She called herself a dream merchant. And I just thought that was really interesting. And Holly said, explain what a dream merchant is, right? And she said it's just someone who wants the best for other people, that wants to help steward them to what their dreams are. So she wants to identify what that dream looks like for her players and make sure that that's what they accomplish, whether it be personal, whether it be as a team. And she has certainly
shepherded her team to now the national title. It's just really incredible to see the emotion on Aaliyah Boston. You got to love that, Rebecca. The turn of events for Aaliyah. She said it in her post-game interview, like, I was crying, like ugly crying on TV, and it was everywhere. And now she's crying tears of joy. Just your thoughts as you watch these girls knowing their dream has been fulfilled, a dream that has been fulfilled for all of you on this stage as well.
Well, they're forever national champions.
Yeah.
They are forever national champions, and no matter what happens going down the line in the future, when they return, they will be known to their fans as national champions. And for some of the players, this could be a little bit life-changing. I mean, Destiny Henderson, assuming she does not return for another year and enters the WNBA draft as we all expect her to, what a way to go out.
Yeah.
What a way to go out, and what a way to show what kind of a leader she is and what kind of a baller she is. I mean, it's the kind of moment that very few people get to experience. It's something that stays with you forever. Forever, these women will be known as national champions.
How about this? Destiny Henderson, you talk about stepping up in big moments. The first player since the year 2000, and it could have been sooner, we just can't track before 2000. First player since the year 2000 to have a career high in a title game. Like, unbelievable. When there are nerves, when there's so much at stake, when you've heard media say that your offense is a problem or how much pressure will be on you, when you have Aaliyah Boston that you're sure to show up in the biggest moment and show out that way. Just an incredible ending to Rebecca's point if she decides she's moving on.
Well, with Destiny Henderson, I cover the Southeastern Conference, and she did that a couple of years ago in the SEC tournament. Big moments, that's the perfect time for Destiny Henderson. You know, she never changes her expression. She is cool, calm, and collected. She can go fast, she can go slow. And so playing with that kind of poise and all, a person that has their emotions in check, when the moment gets bigger, that's when she's at her best. It looked like she was having fun.
Yeah.
She was just playing the game at such an easy and competitive pace, and she was doing it multiple ways defensively. We alluded to that, but she allowed the offense to come to her. There was nothing rushed. There was nothing that she did that was a bad shot. She was reading the defense. She was taking what they were giving her, and the shot selection for Destiny Henderson in this game, I mean, I'm giving her an A+. I've seen where guards have tried to force the action, but she definitely didn't do that tonight. And the fact that she said, you know what, on the defensive end, I'm going to turn it up there too, but that gives you confidence to do what she did on the offensive end. I also want to mention this because Dawn Staley also gives a lot of credit to her assistant coaches. And when you don't have that turnover, you know, as a former coach, you don't have that turnover in your assistants, they understand her system as well. So great job, Lisa, Fred, Jolette Law. I mean, you still have to have coaches that can also, when the players come off the bench, come out of the game and they're on the bench, who is in their ear? Who's talking to them to get them ready to go when it's their time to be subbed back in or subbed out?
And that's one of the things Destiny Henderson told us before the Final Four started. She said Coach Law is often in her ear reminding her, you're one of the best guards in the country. You're one of the best guards in the country. And certainly she helped prove that again today. And I'm looking at this box score. Aaliyah Boston with 11 points. If somebody had said to you, how do you think this game's going to turn out? If Aaliyah Boston has 11 points, you wouldn't necessarily say it would be a 15-point South Carolina victory. South Carolina, the Gamecocks, certainly proved that they are a lot more than their incredibly talented Player of the Year.
I'm looking at the box score too. There's a lot of numbers that really jump out at me right now. I would say rebounding, right? How many times did you guys belabor the point that rebounding was going to be huge in this game? South Carolina, 49 rebounds to UConn's 24 rebounds. They got to the free throw line. If you're UConn, and when Gino Auriemma undoubtedly goes back and looks at this tape, where will he say he was dominated the most?
Oh, in the paint, offensive rebounds, because South Carolina had 21 offensive rebounds to Connecticut's 6. And so that's an area where Connecticut's got to go, okay, were we over-rotating? Do we need to box out better? Because South Carolina was just relentless, creating opportunities to get those second chance points.
You see that they are now cutting down the nets. As again, they are the national champion, South Carolina. just soaking it all in. The fans still here in attendance at the Target Center. And again, I want to go back to UConn for a second there, Rebecca. AZ Fudd. I'm sure that he is being asked about this right now in the press conferences. I know that he alluded to the fact that she was sick, that there were some issues with that. She wasn't feeling good. We didn't see much of her. From the UConn perspective, where would you say is the most sort of glaring hole for them? And where was this game lost for them?
They just didn't have enough horses inside. Yeah. They just didn't have enough size. They didn't have enough horses. And nothing against Aaliyah Edwards, nothing against Olivia Nelson-Adota. There was time after time where I'm sure Coach Oriema was saying to them, you got to box out and go get the board. That's a lot easier said than done. We saw the one replay of Camila Cardozo. When the shot went up, she was at the three-point line, and she just went and pursued the basketball. South Carolina was in pursuit mode on the offensive glass all game long. Their bigs, their guards. UConn just did not have the people to keep them off the glass. South Carolina simply the better team.
Now, we certainly knew that there were going to be some issues, especially in the post. Dorka Juhas goes down. By the way, UConn saying that Dorka has said she will come back and exercise that extra year of eligibility. Did you feel like we saw in the first quarter Paige really was not a factor? She really asserted herself in that second quarter, bridged that gap, got UConn within 8 at the half. Seemed to me that in the third and fourth quarter, again, she sort of deferred to her teammates a little bit too much. How do you think Paige will feel about her performance today based on how assertive and aggressive she was?
I don't necessarily think she was deferring to her teammates as much as South Carolina's defense were taking her away from what she wanted to do, because all the shots that she made in the first half were tough shots. They were tough shots, and she was making something out of nothing. So, and, this is a game where a lot of UConn guards struggled. AZ Fudd was not feeling well. Yeah. Avina Westbrook had some moments, but had some struggles. Kristen Williams. South Carolina's defense simply was able to overpower them, overquick them, and shut them down. So I think all of the credit in the world for everything that happened in this game, offensive boards, Connecticut's inefficiency at times on offense, all due to what South Carolina was doing out there.
Well, you pointed out Destiny Henderson. Yeah, she had a great offensive night, but Destiny Henderson was on Paige Beckers. When she defended Paige Beckers was 1 for 5 from the floor. So now, okay, that's guarding Beckers. Then you have Bree Bill, who guarded Haley Van Lith against Louisville. She was on Kristen Williams today. And then Zaya Cook had the responsibility of AZ Fudd or Avina Westbrook when she came in the game. The perimeter defense and the switching. You at times have post players on guard. South Carolina's post players were able to handle the switches and really contest and make tough shots. In the first quarter, you cannot be down 22-8. That is a tough battle for you. So what you're going to do, you're going to always feel like I've got to do something special. I got to go on the run. The game is a game of runs, and that was a big deficit for Connecticut to come back from. Ball security. To me, you can't give a South Carolina these live ball turnovers. They were in the first quarter. When you look at this first quarter only, the rest of the quarters, okay, it was a little evenly matched as far as taking care of the basketball, doing a much better job rebounding. But in the first quarter, again, you had turnovers that led to scores. You had offensive rebounds that led to scores. You've got to control that. That is something that you, as a basketball player, yes, I'm over here dribbling right now.
Yeah, she is.
But you, as a basketball player, you got to know, I can't just spot a team like South Carolina those easy possessions. Especially when you have a short bench. Because it takes a lot out of you to come back. And then when you don't have the bodies to go to, makes it that much harder.
We also saw Avina Westbrook favoring her ankle even during the game, and when she was walking off, she was limping. Again, we keep looking at this box score, and UConn shot better than South Carolina, right? But it's those second chance opportunities. 22 second chance points for South Carolina to just 5 for UConn. And again, Aaliyah Boston finished the tournament averaging 16.8 points a game and over 15 rebounds per game. First player to do that in the tournament for a national champion. An incredible performance. As you see that South Carolina is cutting down the nets. The championship net is actually brought to you by Werner Ladder. The good news is we're going to be joined on set by some of the key figures from Don Staley is supposed to join us on set. We expect to talk to Aaliyah Boston. We expect to talk to Destiny Henderson here on the stage as well. Where do we go from here? I mean, you're talking about a dynasty, or at least trying to build one. Don talked about that as well. To be like a Gino Auriemma, to build a dynasty, you have to be consistent. When you look at this South Carolina team, how poised are they to make another run at this?
I think they're certainly poised. You would imagine they would be the preseason #1 team.
Sure.
Hey, they're returning Aaliyah Boston as a senior. They're returning Bree Beal, Zia Cook. They've got a great crop of freshmen, the #1 recruiting class in college this season. They will be the favorite entering next year. And now they have the experience of being here and knowing how to win it all. And there's a lot to be said for that as well.
One of their top recruits didn't even play this season. Yeah. Raven Johnson went down with a knee injury, so that they have her coming back as well. They've got top recruits coming in. I mean, that just feeder system of continuing to replace talent with talent. And it's not just talent on the number, like ranking-wise. The women they bring in can play. And like Destiny Henderson, when she came in and had to play behind Ty Harris, but that was a great person to learn from. Just like this class that are juniors right now, learning from a Destiny Henderson, a Victoria Saxon. Like when you can keep having those mentors ahead of you, that's how you continue to stay successful.
Yeah, but there's got to be this buy-in, right? You got to buy into your role on the team. And Dawn talked about and acknowledged those who really did that. And so great job for getting the whole team involved.
And again, making her way to our stage right now, Destiny Henderson, who was an entire vibe, movement, had an entire moment today in the national championship as South Carolina gets their second natty in program history. Don Staley, just the 7th D1 head coach to win multiple national championships. We're going to get her mic. Does she have mic? We're going to get her mic'd up. We'll let you know.
Oh, we got to.
Aaliyah Boston right now cutting down her portion of the net. And we're going to expect to talk to Aaliyah here in just a minute when she is done. But for now, let's bring in Destiny. Anything is possible, Henderson. Just an outstanding performance. You are the first person since 2000 and maybe before then, Destiny, to have a career high in a title game. What got into you tonight?
I just feel like I had to be a dog offensively as well as defensively. My teammate found me open positions to shoot the ball, and I just let it fly.
Can we get her a chair?
Are you
I'm
tired?
good. No,
You good?
my momentum's still going.
Yeah.
I'm good.
How were you able, your team, usually in a national championship game, teams have a little bit of nerves. UK guys came out from the jump and imposed your will on this game. How were you able to do that?
We knew we had to come out with fire. Early on in the season, we played them, and the game was really close. So we knew we had to hit first, and that's what we came out to do. We played with a lot of energy, a lot of momentum, and it just carried on all 4 quarters.
Destiny, how proud of you. How does it make you feel? I mean, you're a national champion, and this is the second one for Dawn Staley.
Yes. First and foremost, Dawn Staley, she deserves it. She's the best coach that ever crossed my path, and I'm so blessed to have her as a coach, and I'm going to miss her. Try not to get emotional. But just for us to be in this moment, we've been working hard since day one, and we fell short last year. We knew we had to come out with a bang this year and just get over that hump because we've been there before. So we just had to play with fire and momentum and just trusting each other, and that's what we did.
Well, you got somebody behind you here.
My road dog.
Knowing that you have, and you are playing with arguably one of the best centers to play the game. You're able to go out, and obviously, great job. Great job. I'm going to talk about her right now.
As you should.
All right. But when you have a player this dominant in the post game, everybody's like always saying, get Aaliyah the ball, get Aaliyah the ball. Talk about when you know it's time for Destiny time, when it's time for you to take over.
I feel like she's so dominant inside. She drags so much attention inside. So it's hard for teams not to double, and especially off a shooter like me, I'm going to shoot it. And that's what I was doing tonight.
Paige Beckers, Paige Buckets in her hometown, shot 1 of 5 when you were defending her. How serious did you take that mission to shut down Paige Beckers tonight?
I knew I had a task on my hands. I knew I had to come out offensively as well as defensively. And I knew I was going to get tired, but I had to keep fighting through. Defensively, I just knew I had to use my speed and just to stay with her because I know she liked to shoot. So, and I know a lot of the assists they're looking for too. So I just had to be ready, and even if I got lost, just to stay in the play and use my speed.
I have to tell her what I said because she couldn't have heard it, and I was so proud of it. I said, UConn was undefeated in national championship, but unfortunately, they had a date with destiny. Let's go, Destiny Henderson. Right?
I like that.
Thank you. Can I get that? I've got zero talent like you, but I can do those things.
Aaliyah, what was it like for you, especially early in the game, because you draw so much defensive attention, when you see your guard, Destiny in particular, able to hit their shots, take some of that pressure off? What was that like for you early in this one?
I mean, it was great. I mean, I was just trying to make sure I was able to make the right pass at the right time and understand when I needed to attack. But Henny scoring the ball as well as she did and hitting the outside shots, I mean, it opened up the game for us. I mean, they knew that they had to find her quickly or else she was going to let another one fly and hit it.
Aaliyah, you talked about just now at the end of the game the difference in emotions between last year and this year. What does it feel like after what you experienced in the Final Four last year, that swing of emotions that you're feeling right now?
I mean, it feels amazing, and I think part of it is just because of how my photo was used, and I don't want to get too personal, but I mean, they used a sad photo to describe March Madness when I don't think that should have been the case. I think it should have been, yes, there are emotions, but when you use a video of me crying for a long period of time, it's like, that's going to fuel my fire. I'm going to use Bree's quote, that's on her shirts, by the way, y'all, bang. And I'm going to go on with that because I use that as fire. I don't want anyone to use a video of me crying ever again as a weak point when now you have a smile.
I was going to say, fueled your fire, Naismith Player of the Year, Naismith Defensive Player of the Year, Lisa Leslie Center Award, AP Player of the Year, Final Four Most Outstanding Player, Wade Trophy winner, SEC Player of the Year, SEC Defensive Player of the Year. That's what you did this
That's
year.
all God. That's all God, and I thank him for that.
Hey, but Leah, tell me about, okay, you had a checklist of goals of things that you wanted to accomplish. Do you remember what those were?
Honestly, my main goal coming into this season was win a national championship and be Naismith Player of the Year. And I kept that goal as kind of in the back of my head because, you know, Coach talks about don't let it be a distraction. Don't let personal goals be a distraction. And I think just our team and how many weapons that we have, it was the game just opened up and I was able to get those awards.
I'm going to ask you another question because I'm going to ask you about Henny. You've played with her for 3 years. She had to take a back seat and come off the bench, I think your sophomore season, and then now in a starting role. How much and how proud are you of how she has grown throughout her career?
I'm so proud of Henny. I mean, she's our leader. She's our leader. I mean, she keeps us level-headed every time. She controls the pace of the game. She's a great defender, and honestly, without her, I mean, this team would be totally different. I'm just so happy to have her.
You have the ability to shoot the three, score the basketball, block shots. What else you don't do? I thought at one point you was going to be the point guard, but you also have a partner in crime on the other side of that block in Saxton, and you two together. I can't even imagine how people can compete on the boards with you two.
I mean, it's hard because we take pride in that. I mean, we just want to rebound the ball. And even B as a defender, I mean, we're two different defenders, and I think it just keeps people on their toes because they're not sure how to pass the ball in because you're going to get one that plays in space, you're going to get one that's right on you, and so we're going to make it hard for them.
What's it like for both of you to share this moment with your loved ones and your family being here?
I mean, this one for the books. This is a special moment for us to take in, and we just been waiting for it since forever, since day one. And we're going to take this national championship back home, and we're just going to celebrate.
It feels amazing. I'm just so happy to be able to share it with everybody.
What do you want to say to the fans who are watching back in Columbia right now and couldn't be here?
Thank y'all for everything. Even if you didn't make the trip, we heard you every game in the CLA. You guys are the best fans in the country.
Yes, you've been supporting us since day one. We appreciate your support. Even if you're here or from afar, we appreciate it, we feel it, and we love you.
I do want to ask ask you really quickly, Aaliyah, because we heard you shout out Candace Parker. For those that don't know, what's the relationship with Candace?
I mean, I really just love Candace Parker. No, seriously, I mean, growing up, I watched the WNBA and I watched her on the Sparks, and just seeing how tall she is, being able to do what she does on the court, I mean, I look up to her to this day, and people in interviews ask me, they're like, who's somebody that you try to model your game after? I'm like, Candace, automatic. I'm not there yet, but for sure her, because she can do everything.
Oh, you're getting there.
She would know. She knows Candace Parker.
Hey, but I got one more because I saw you share a moment on the court with a dominant center of South Carolina that won the first national championship with Asia Wilson. What'd that mean for you to share that with her?
It was so special, and I think it just shows you the kind of family that South Carolina has, because Asia was here supporting us, dancing with us, and I mean, she started this all. She started it all.
Dawn Staley cutting down the net now.
I'm wondering, ladies, I see the nets are around your wrist right now. Have you figured out where you're going to keep your nets?
It's going to add to the collection on my wall.
Oh, the collection. Oh, so we expect more nets,
Oh,
Aaliyah.
absolutely.
Okay, all right. I love that. We're actually going to talk to your coach in just a little bit. But again, just an incredible performance, an incredible season for you guys.
Thank you.
And not an easy one because you had a marker on your back. AP #1, wire to wire. It's only happened a handful of times that a team was able to actually win that championship. And for you all to do that, knowing that everyone was coming for you, I think is really indicative of not only your poise, but also your focus. And that's what your coach kept saying. She was like, I have never been around a team this serious. They are about that business. And, well, destiny fulfilled. Okay, I'm done. I'll stop with the puns, Destiny. I'm just saying.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Go
you.
celebrate.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
All right, when we come back from break, we will have Dawn Staley join us right now. She's got so many accolades for her career, and now she becomes the first head coach in tournament history to beat Gino Auriemma in a national championship. South Carolina, your national champs. We are back here on SportsCenter coming to you, hey, from the Target Center. Dawn Staley and her South Carolina Gamecocks just won their second national championship. And Dawn is joining us now here on set. We see you fit the love, the energy, you've been light. And your team came out here and seemed so poised. We talked about how calm and collected they were. Were you even surprised about the start of that game?
I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I saw the focus on Saturday. I saw the focus today and shoot around. Like, there are just certain things that coaches see in players and teams. And I felt especially great when Aaliyah it was pregame. She was like, we're ready. She said, we're ready. So I don't have to address anything in the locker room besides, what the game plan is. They brought everything else to the table. I just reiterated what the game plan was, and they did it. We didn't even actually go to our game plan B. Like, Henny played Paige the entire game, and I don't think she wanted to do anything besides stay with that matchup, utilize her speed, and just try to make it difficult for her. And that's really, really hard to do against somebody like Paige.
Dawn, this is your second one. Which was harder, the first one or the second one?
This one was harder. This one was harder because, we had the target on our backs every single day of this season. And you just never know. Like, I thought we were the best team in the country throughout the season, but the best teams don't always end up winning the national championship. So we had to guard against all of those things. We had to guard against ourselves. We had to guard against what other people thought of our play from time to time. Listen, we don't know what a national championship team looks like. We only know that they win. They score more points than the other team, and it's a tough team that they're playing.
Well, you showed me, Dawn. You had something in your pocket. You had it in your pocket the whole time.
I did.
What you got in there?
At the start of the NCAA tournament this year, I carried this in a mesh bag draped over my backpack. And today was the only time that I took it out. I took it out before I walked out here for the game. And I just wanted constant reminders of how hard it is And the fact that I shared this with so many other black coaches that they really don't believe that this can ever take place in their lifetime. But it can. Like, it really can. You know, you got to ride the wave when it's hot. I think we rode the wave when it's hot, and we're going to continue to do that. But in the meantime, people's national championship may not be, you know, hoisting a national championship trophy. Okay, it's getting a job. It's like being a head coach on a Division I level.
Right.
So that's national championship. That is being a dream merchant for young people, first generation college graduates. You know, that's what this signifies. So, you know, yes, I shared my national championship net because we won, but we won before we won. We won before we won because, you know, of who we have to care for every single day. So it's truly an incredible honor. Basketball has been just tremendous. Like I don't know my life without basketball. I do not know it. The life lessons, the hardships, you know, I think I'm socially apt because I was just singly focused on basketball. So I don't encourage anybody to take my path, but certainly when you become a coach, the responsibility of a coach is quite incredible. And that's why I was afraid of being a coach, because I didn't want the responsibility of 18 to 22-year-olds. But when I did, and when I leaned all the way in, I probably get more satisfaction than they do. And I'm living my passion.
Don, you talk about responsibility, and you are a guardian of the game right now. I mean, I remember Carolyn when she was coaching at Purdue and she won, and I remember C. Vivian Stringer, and I remember you always saying they will be what they see. And you've been a great example for not only the women's game, but for all men and women. It's not just you, as I've played women's basketball. Like, you are carrying this torch, and you're a trailblazer. I don't care how many titles you win. I just want you to personally know that you have paved the way, and everybody's not going to be able to cut down nets, but their nets may look differently because of the platform that you continue to use to uplift this game, the real game, and that's the game of life.
Appreciate that, Nikki. Appreciate that. I just also just want to add this part of it. This game is so special to so many people that I don't think we realize. We don't realize, you know, what it is. I'm going to continue to use my platform. I hope I set an example of when you treat women's basketball like a sport, it's so freaking fulfilling. Yeah. It's so freaking fulfilling. Like, and I'm talking to the NCAA tournament people. When you invest in our tournament, like you invest in the men's tournament, I'm talking about, no, ESPN, you're going to get mad at me, but you need some competition. You need some competition, some network competition. That's what drives the money up. And that's what gives us our net worth in our game. And don't get me wrong, ESPN, you've done a great job. You continue to do a great job to give us a platform when nobody else wanted to give us a platform. I think we've arrived at a place where we can continue to grow and grow and grow and be fulfilling to the decision makers. Like, it's a fulfilling, incredible sport that when you lean in and lean in hard, your daughters, your sisters, your mothers can reap the benefit of you leaning in with us.
Dawn, you talked all season about unfinished business. What was it like for you to watch your players, Destiny Leah, all of them, have this moment of winning a national championship?
I'm happy for them. Like, they sacrificed. Destiny Henderson sat for her first 2 years, didn't play a whole lot, and she just waited her turn. And now, I mean, I thought she was the MVP of today. Like, I thought she was the player of the game today. And not a whole lot of young people would have the patience to finish this thing out. They would have, if I don't play my first year, I'm out of here. But the patience of her mother, because that's who it is. Miss James is the one that really kept her right here. She made the commitment. So Destiny Henderson wasn't going anywhere no matter what was happening, because they said, Coach, we believe in you. And it just makes me feel great inside, like super great inside for Aaliyah, you know, to turn those tears into happy tears, into a smile. All of them. Zaya Cook had a terrific game today. Victoria Saxton has done it. And our bench, I mean, they've been pretty darn solid, you know, all season long. But then the bottom of the bench, the bottom third, as they call them on the team, you know the sacrifice that they had to make. They did not play. They barely got reps because we got a practice squad. Hey, highlighters, that they did a great job. So they would sit on the sideline like, if we don't do three reps a group, they sat today when we only did two cycles of groups. So I'm happy for them because their sacrifice means a little bit more because we won.
Yeah, it's a team win. And because of Destiny Henderson's patience and the patience of her mom, she became the first person in 22 seasons to have a career high in a national title game. Incredible. She got incredibly emotional while talking about you and what you had meant to her as she is probably leaving the program. Don, we want to say thank you so much for your visibility, for giving us so much access. And congratulations, you are a national champion for the second time. Go, what you gonna do? Like, what you gonna do? You gonna go kick it? I mean, you got a party.
I'm not sleeping tonight. That might even have me a little alcohol tonight.
Wait a minute, whoa! We can get to the bar. Congratulations, Coach. We fully expect that we will see you back here on this very big stage. Dawn Staley, national champion, becomes such the second head coach to ever lead a U.S. Olympic gold medaling team and then turn around the next year and do it at the college level as well. Dawn was so brilliant in talking about some of those role players that don't get love. And so while we say goodbye to you from Target Center, I have got to give a big shout out to two of our members that you will never see, Carter Roach and Jenny LaCroix, who have held us down time and time again. We love you. We thank you. We couldn't do this without you. That's it for us from here at the Target Center. We send it back to SportsCenter.
March Madness is officially here.
It's the first four for the first time.
68 teams will play for a chance at the national championship.
The page is turning. History made for the Bison. Their first NCAA tournament win. When we ride, we run on the edge and across the flames.
Belmont in double overtime. 2 words. March Madness. Triple-double for